All right, Steeler fans, it is time for the mailbag segment. Not as many questions, and I know why. I know why there weren't as many questions because a lot of people are probably waiting to see what happens at the trade deadline. Maybe people are thinking about election stuff. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. We have a lot of questions. And in case you're watching or listening to this and you're like, how do I get my question answered? Find me on Twitter at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. Every Tuesday, I put out the tweet. All you have to do is respond. You don't have to follow me, and I will answer your question. So let's get this thing started. Corey Eckenroth said there's been a culture change in Washington, and the results are evident. They're 7-2. Quinn and company are for real. How much stock are you putting into Tomlin's record versus rookie quarterbacks this week? Not much. Let's go back to last season, right? Last season, how did Mike Tomlin do against rookie quarterbacks? CJ Stroud lost. Dorian Thompson-Robinson lost. Not very good. Not very good at all. But this year, he's 1-0, obviously going against Bo Nix. At the same time, I think this is a different beast. This is a different beast altogether. Jaden Daniels, I do think if it's for me, you said, how much stock do you put in Tomlin's record versus rookies? It's not as much as I put in Tomlin coming off the bye. Him getting an extra week, I think, could really help this cause. Just my own thoughts. Let's go to Jeff Coons, my buddy up north. He said, greetings from Not Matt, Canada. Assuming Omar doesn't make a trade today, how confident are you the Steelers remain playoff competitors this year? Would you agree with staying pat? He said, I must admit, I'm a little surprised at Omar's lack of aggression, considering the players who have been dealt with in recent weeks. Good to great players for a reasonable return. It's a buyer's market. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. So they did make a move. They did make a move. But if they would have stayed pat, would I have been really angry? No. I would have been disappointed that the entire year seemingly was spent speculating about wide receivers and they never got one. That would annoy me more than anything. But I'm glad they did get who they got. I'm glad they got Mike Williams. Could it have been better? Sure. Did they want to sell the farm to do so? No. So, yeah, there you go. Let's go to James. He said, do the Chiefs have a kryptonite? If so, can Pittsburgh tap into it by Christmas? Someone has to beat them, right? And then our buddy Believer says their kryptonite is I will be there. And the Steelers are 11-0 when I attend a game, which first, that's awesome, Believers. That you have a perfect, this is going to be a test. This 11-0 streak against the Chiefs. I watched a good bit of that Monday night game this past Monday against the Buccaneers. And you watch the games and you're just thinking, man, the Chiefs could be had. The Chiefs could be had, but no one has the ability to put them away. No one has the ability against their defense. That's the key here. No one has the ability to, in my opinion, no one has the ability for the knockout punch. The defense keeps the offense in games just enough so that Patrick Mahomes can do Patrick Mahomes things. If there's a team out there that can not just get a one-score lead, but get a like a 14-point lead, that's going to change everything. We'll see if the Steelers can do it on Christmas Day. Let's go to Believers. Ride or Die Crew poll of the week. A bigger concern is the coming weeks. Is it the offense or the defense? I said the defense because they're going up against some tough offenses. So my concern in the coming weeks is definitely the defensive side of the football. Mark Bergen said, not sure if this is too late. You're not. But what do you think the Giants were asking for in exchange for Darius Slayton? The Steelers wound up with Mike Williams instead. I said this at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it here again. If the Giants said they wanted a 4th-round pick for Darius Slayton, the Steelers didn't have that. The Steelers could have said, we'll give you a 2026 4th. But the Giants may have said, we don't want to pick in 2026. We want to pick in 2025. 2026 doesn't help us next year. And so this type of stuff happens because, again, the Steelers weren't going to give up a 3rd for Darius Slayton. They don't have a 4th. The Giants might not have taken a 5th or later. So unless the Giants would have taken a 5th and a 7th, which they might say, we don't want a 5th and a 7th. We want a 4th. Sometimes these negotiations go up against the wall like that, and they just cannot get out. So that's my only thought there. All right, let's go to Brian Haynes. He has several questions. He said, I truly think that we can beat anyone on our schedule for the second half of the season. With the reinforcements coming, what do you think is the biggest hurdle for the rest of the season, injuries not included? And do you think the Chiefs will lose a game before we play? I do think the Chiefs will lose a game before the Christmas Day game. I don't know to who, might be to Buffalo, but I do think they're going to lose a game. The biggest hurdle for the rest of the season is the offense figuring it out. They're still figuring it out. If the offense can remain dominant in the run game, if they can still connect on big pass plays and start to figure out their red zone offense, this team's going to be really tough to beat because the defense is good enough. And if they don't have to shut out a team to win, boy, is that a boost, right? Brian also asked, do the moves made today move the needle either way for you? Talked about it in the first half. Not really. Good, solid depth plays, trades, whatever you want to call it. I'm okay with it, but it doesn't really move the needle. Next one, Brian. What's your favorite trade deadline pickup? I can't say I have a favorite trade deadline pickup. I don't remember the Steelers making a trade at the trade deadline ever that has me like, wow, I can't believe they got this guy and he's done so well. Like there's free agent pickups that come to mind, but not trade deadline pickups. Next and the final one from Brian. Do you believe with the moves we've made or pursued, we're in Rams 21 win now mode? No, they're not in Rams 21 win now mode. Rams sent out, and I talked about this on that podcast. They mortgaged the future. They shipped out all those first round picks. Just get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. That was mortgaging the future of the Steelers. No, not even close to that. Let's go to Brandon Diaz. He has several questions. Where is Minka? We need this man ASAP. He's there. He's just not getting the splash plays. And I don't know what else to say. That's what people want. I get it. But are people complaining about Joey Porter? No, the reason they're not is that they don't really expect it from Joey Porter. Joey Porter has never been known to be the guy that takes the ball away. He's been known to be a good cover player. Minka Fitzpatrick has a history of taking the ball away, and he hasn't in a long time. I get it. Maybe we'll see him sooner than later. I don't know. Next, he says you're at lunch and you can invite 3 Steelers, who and why, current players only. Okay, so if I can invite 3 players to lunch, who am I inviting? I'm going to invite Tier. I'm tempted to just do the big 3 on defense, and that would be TJ, Cam, and Minka. But we'll mix it up. On offense, shoot, there's not a lot of characters. Najee Harris would be fun. He'd be entertaining at least. Let's go Najee, TJ, and Cam. I think that would be entertaining. Be an entertaining lunch. And then last one from Brandon. I'm thankful for y'all at SCN. Now that the thanks are given, what's the best Christmas movie and why? The movie, you said movies. I will say this. My favorite Christmas movie right now is probably a toss-up between National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or Elf. I love all Christmas movies, though. It's a Wonderful Life. I like all the iterations of A Christmas Carol. I love A Christmas Story. We'll get into that a lot closer to the holidays for sure. All right, let's go to Ryan Carter. Jeff, it's been a while. Work and stuff. Now am I the only one who's feeling like the Steelers are being blackballed? Watching what some of these players are being traded for has me thinking there's no way the Steelers are offering less than that. What's your take? And then he writes, this aged poorly. I still stand by it. There might be teams out there that say, we don't want to do business with Pittsburgh for whatever reason. Like Chicago. If Chicago said, we don't want to do business with Omar Khan anymore, would you blame them? I wouldn't blame them. I'd say, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense why you don't want to do business with us anymore. So I don't think it's a league-wide issue, but I could see it. Let's go to Thomas. He said, if a wide receiver isn't traded for today, which it was, do you think the Steelers will use their first-round pick on a receiver next draft? Next draft is going to be really interesting in this regard. I don't know if they'll spend a first-round pick on a receiver, but I do think that'll definitely be on the board. Let's go to JC Kaufman. He said, hey, Jeff, update from Japan. That's right. This is the guy that went to Japan during the bye week. He said, saw one single other NFL jersey in Tokyo while wearing my Steelers gear. And you already know it was a Color Rush Big Ben jersey being worn by a fan from the city. As for Mailbag, how do you feel about the Steelers inside linebackers this season? Good, bad, overrated, etc. I think they are good. I'm not going to say they're great, but they're good. I like Patrick Queen, like Peyton Wilson, and I really like Landon Roberts. It's a good group. Very good group. Thank you, JC, for the update from Tokyo as well. Let's go to Plain and Simple. This is Maddie. He said, say the Steelers stand put today. How confident are you they can still put together a run being a playoff win? With that scheduled gauntlet coming up, it worries a lot of us with the position they're in right now long-term this season at receiver. Can these guys get the job done? Seeing what I've seen from Russell Wilson so far, just a small sample size, I'd say that they could, but we don't have to worry about that. They got a receiver. Let's go to Doc M, Southside Doc. Would any trade deadline move solidify place? Would any trade? Let me rephrase this. Would any trade deadline move place the Steelers into Super Bowl contenders? What is the realistic explanations moving forward? I don't know if they would have wanted to give up something to put them in contender status, but they're going to they've put themselves in a position to actually go out there and compete for a playoff push, and not just to make it, but to win. And that's what you want from the trade deadline. Let's go to Damon. Going to my first ever game in 2 weeks, the Ravens. Any advice or tips for a first timer? Arrival time, things to check out, food, etc. Now, Dave Schofield might be a better person to ask. He's been to games every year. I haven't been there in a long time. But I will say this, your first time going, go early. Now, Dave will say, go park downtown and take the Gateway Clipper across the river to the game. It's cheaper, and honestly, it's a pretty cool experience to be on the Clipper with all those Steeler fans. When you get there early enough that you can go and walk around the concourse and take it all in. Go to the pro shop where they sell their gear. Go see the Hall of Honor and all the Great Hall, all that stuff. Like, go see all of it. Walk around the whole flipping stadium, and then go to your seats and go in and just take it all in. It is like it's people's Mecca, and you're going to get to experience it for the first time against the Baltimore Ravens of all teams. I think Dave's going to be at that game. So make sure you give a big shout out to Dave Schofield he's in section 2 something, I think. But still, that's my advice. That's my advice. I used to tell everyone to go to Grill 36, which was Jerome Bettis's restaurant right outside the stadium, and then it closed down. Never opened back up after the lockdowns were ended. All right, let's go to JJ52. Question is Broderick Jones? I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with Broderick Jones. I hope he's going to be improving. I hope that he's moving in the right direction. Let's hope that the bye week and some rest, maybe his elbow's been the issue. We'll see. But I'm as disappointed as anyone else. Trust me. All right, let's go to Todd Hall. Bishop or Sutton? I agree with what Mike Tomlin said on Tuesday, that it's not an either or situation. That I think that Cam Sutton, and Mike Tomlin reiterated this, is such a versatile piece. He can play outside corner. He can play nickel. He can play the dime. He can play slot, whatever. I'd love to see him, Cam Sutton, that is, take Terrell Edmonds off the field in their dime packages, and that's who they've had to use there. So if B.D. Bishop continues to play at a decent level, then you can keep him out there, and you can use Cam Sutton in a variety of other ways to try and better implement your defense. So, all right, let's finish this up as we always do with Steeler Fan 69 with some humor. Here we go. He said, when my son turned 16, he asked for a car for his birthday. I said, first, you got to get a haircut. He said, hey, Dad, Jesus had long hair. I said, that's right, son. And Jesus walked everywhere. Next, why does the singer Cher love daylight savings time? She can turn back time. But I'm ching. Very good. Thank you all very much for participating in the mailbag segment. I do appreciate everyone that's a part of the Ride or Die crew. You all are great. You're the best. I appreciate all of you. In the meantime, make sure you're checking out all of our Steel Curtain Network content and check out steelcurtainnetwork.com. Again, steelcurtainnetwork.com. Super proud of that website and all the content being put out there, myself and a lot of others included. Go check it out early and often every single day for Steelers content. But that does it for me. I will be back on Friday. We'll have Behind Enemy Lines, All Bets Are Off segment. You know how we finish these out. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. Go Steelers.